Hollow Knight Silksong was released only 4 months ago. Yes, you heard it right, only 4 months, man. It has been completely insane and we have already reached a level of optimization that is completely unheard of. From even doubting the possibility of a sub-hour being even possible to getting a time below 50 minutes. And that's why I'm here today, to explain to you how I got the first ever Silksong completion under 50 minutes. First thing that you guys might realize is that the run starts at 21 seconds skipping the cutscene. This is not a mod, okay? This is only the vanilla autosave feature and it's completely allowed. Right here at the start you're gonna see the main movement tech for the entire early game basically, which are neutral pogos. It's a very hard tech to actually master that allows for non-stop pogoing without losing any speed. If you look at my input overlay you can see how to do it, but you should check out some tutorial or something, it's a really hard tech. Also another thing that you might be even noticing is that right here above the input overlay you can see that 50 OX counter. I got 5 times, only 10 seconds away of beating the 49 barrier, so as you might guess it was a really painful grind, but we managed to do it in the end. Now, talking about the route, we skip Drifter's Cloak, okay, with this route, and we go into Wormways by collecting 500 rosaries. You see there that I got a rosary string, which is 30, and we get them to get a simple key. This route is only possible on release patch though, because there is a wall jump on the Underworks that was completely patched. Well, talking about the route itself, because some people might be interested in that, the run pretty much has just started, but we are on a pretty good pace. Like, this Moss Grotto is really clean overall, okay. This is a 231, if I remember correctly, which is pretty good. If you see in the upper right corner, I have the light split timer, and basically that's a custom comparison that I made, and it's basically my expected times for a 49. If I do better than those times, I'm like doing better than what I need for the 49. And well, going back into the run, we see that we are on the first boss of the run, and well, this is a pretty simple boss, pretty self-explanatory. I did it textbook, basically, like there is not much to it. There you have it, right there. So yeah, pretty good start, really solid. Well, after skipping some pretty uninteresting cutscenes, we are back with actual gameplay, and you might see that I only gained 0.1 seconds compared to my custom comparison, and then you realize how hard the 49 actually is, because, well, doing that pretty much perfectly only saved 0.1, like there is pretty much no room for error, and you will see throughout the run I don't make that many mistakes. There is only like maybe 10 to 15 seconds worth of mistakes. Everything else is just better fights and that's it, pretty much. So yeah, this is a pretty optimized run already. I can see a 49.3x being possible, below 49.40, but it's pretty hard. I already took long enough to beat the 49. So yeah, we are going right here to take those 60 rosaries. This has, well, with these ones we have already 90. Well, we missed 2 because RNG, that's basically RNG, nothing I can do about it. But it's fine, you will see at the end that I have the rosaries calculated, and I usually never have problems with it. And then there is also this fly skip I can't keep up, which is a very simple skip, okay? But it actually saves like 1 minute, 1.5 minutes to going all the way around. And it has been around for basically the entire history of speedrunning of this game, like it was discovered pretty much day one. We are already reaching the Silkspear, okay, so I'm gonna quickly explain everything about it, because we are keeping Silkspear for the whole run, even though we go through the mist and unlock parry, but we keep the spear because the spear is goated, okay. And there is basically 3 main features of the Silkspear, like 3 main uses, just using it normally. Then there is the turnaround spear, which is basically doing a quick turnaround before spearing, so it goes faster. That's pretty much it. And then the most useful one is landing spear, which is basically doing a hit and landing, and then throwing the spear, and it goes much faster. And I make good use of it on the second boss, which is actually a pretty decently hard boss on the speed run, which is Belbeast, because you need to cycle skip, okay? This was discovered pretty early into the game's life, and it's basically just skipping the second phase of Belbeast entirely by doing a certain amount of damage to the boss before he does the scream, and then doing a damage rotation on the scream. Talking about the run again, we are already behind, like we lost a bit, but it's fine. This is a really clean game, early game overall, as you will see. And this room is pretty much textbook too, so this was looking pretty good. I only needed good RNG on Belbeast, because if he does the quick attacks, you lose 4 seconds. So we will see if we get them. Okay, obviously I already know, but we will see. There, I do 5 nails on this opener. He always does this attack. He does the dash again, so 5 hits and a spear, okay. And then we get the good attack, so we do a spear, 5 nails, and he's only 3 hits and 1 spear away, so pretty nice work. Pretty nice. And now we break the Rosary strings. Why? Because if you do it after, you need to scroll down in the inventory to break them. And if you do it earlier, you need to do it one by one, because we picked the last Rosary string like pretty recently. You can do it pretty much any time after picking up the second one and before the quit out after Belbeast, but it's more comfortable to do it now, in my opinion, so that's the reason we break them there. So after collecting the Silk Heart after another boring cutscene, we quit out, simply because it's faster since we remove the load times. We are actually ahead again after this split. This is a very clean early game, like I pretty much put on my custom comparison a textbook early game, okay? This is a 815 Marvel, which is pretty solid, like my best ever was a 814, so this is pretty much nothing much to improve on this early game, and we're gonna keep that pace onto the next split, and like the next 2 splits actually are pretty clean, so yeah. As you see there, we have an 815, and now we are going to get finally the dash, and we might see a lot of, well, we are gonna see a lot of new tech with the dash, because it's a very complex movement, okay? The main tech is basically pogo dashing, okay? You already have seen it a lot, probably, but it's basically just doing a pogo dash jump repeat, like it has nothing much to it. And we are gonna see here another small skip, which is actually a bit RNG, it depends on the spawn of the enemy, and it pretty annoyed me a lot on my grind, because you can lose time there for free. And well, next split we are also gonna see, apart from the dash tech obviously, the main Rosary collection, because in the next split we actually buy the simple key to get into Wormoise, which is an interesting area, and it went pretty wrong on the speedrun, but we'll get to this later. We kill this guy for the 7 Rosaries, we need another 14 from this split, and then the other like 300 Rosaries, we get them during the next split, which is pretty insane to even think about. They are pretty fast Rosaries. This route is really really complex, like we went for a long time without knowing really that what Rosary routing was best. But yeah, we do Flint Steel Pogo here, pretty textbook, okay. And we reached that small transition in 938, which is like, you might... I just time random runes in my head, and I see the time that I'm getting, like, I just do it randomly, so I thought I might as well mention it. And we are gonna reach Paid Actor Pogo, okay, which went pretty smoothly, okay, I didn't even remember. And now we are reaching the first arena. Yeah, this is the first arena, which is pretty easy, but you are gonna see a lot of the Silkspear tech, like basically all of them. Here we see the normal spears, okay. These guys, we just smack them. And then we do a spear to both enemies here, which is pretty easy. And then I think I did the landing spear or the turnaround. Okay, the turnaround and wall bounce and then another turnaround. So pretty textbook again. As you might see, this early game is pretty good. If it basically allowed me to get the 49 even with those mistakes. Like, if I didn't get a clean early game, I wouldn't have the 49. Like, I was only 2 seconds away, so basically any mistake would lose me the 49. Well, we finally have the dash and we've made it out of early game, finally. Like, you don't see the grind, but as you might see there, we have had the reset chance for the whole run, and we have the total attempts of, in the top right corner, 827 attempts. So if you do the math, you will realize how much runs I lose to this early game. So yeah, we are on a pretty good pace, 11:21, my best was 11:19, and a very high one, so this is pretty good, and the Rosaries are pretty decent too. They aren't amazing, because if you remember, I lost 2 at the beginning, which is painful, but we're doing pretty well. We get this 45, we do it on more slashes than needed, it seems, because the cap of Rosaries on screen is actually 40, so it's pretty awkward, man. Silksong is sometimes pretty bullshit, but, well, what can we do about it? And we are reaching the chest room now, which has a lot of Rosaries also, and is pretty famous for basically killing early game paces. Like, if you fuck up here, it's very, very tilting, but we did it fine, obviously. We didn't get those pogos. We get 353 exiting the room, which is actually not the best. Like, if you get 356, you can skip another extra enemy. That's basically the only thing I missed on early game. If I got that, if I got 3 more Rosaries, it would be insane. Like, pretty much perfect early game pace. So yeah, we get this 40, we would need around 419 here to skip all the enemies, but we need to kill this one, because we didn't have enough. And well, it's more than enough, like, it's a small time loss, it's only like 1 second, but yeah, we need to kill both that enemy and this one right here to have the 442 we need for this room. And then, well, we pick the last 58 Rosaries, 20 from here, spear, we missed one, it's fine, we had extra, so we take these ones. And I actually lose another one, so thank god, I didn't skip any enemies. And we get the simple key, the exact amount, and we are doing the elevator skip. I think I get it. Pretty simple skip. It saves basically no time, only like 0.6, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Here is this first small optimization that I just slow down in this room, because that enemy can hit you, but if you go too fast, you can skip him, but it's very inconsistent, and doing it and losing the entire early game to that is pretty tilting. I've done it many times and I didn't want to do it. So yeah, we've reached Wormoise in, I think, 14-14, which is actually tied with my best pace ever. Like, I've never gotten better than 14-14. Well, you might guess that this Wormoise would actually be good or something, right? Well, pretty tragic. We miss a jump there, which loses like, I don't know, 0.6, I don't know. Then here I think I did it fine, which is actually the hardest part. I got hit by that enemy, which is pretty unfortunate, but whatever. It's my fault completely. And then another pretty unlucky mistake is this one. I actually have an excuse for that. Is that depending on the worm being faster or slower, you can not cancel the dash. And I was too distracted looking at the worm because I didn't know if I needed to cancel the dash. So yeah, I just went into the spikes, and this Wormoise is like 5 seconds lower than a proper good Wormoise. So yeah, there is the main time loss of the entire Act 1 probably. This is the main time loss for sure. Luckily the entire split went pretty well outside Wormoise, and it ended up not being that painful. Like, it was fine. But I still was behind after the split, which was pretty sad, considering that this was my best pace ever. But it happens, it happens. It was still a good pace, even though I lost 5 seconds. Here we skip Sister Splinter. This has been known for a while. You already know it probably, but you just lure this guy with the taunt, pogo up him, and just skip Sister Splinter to take the clean grip. Like, only 15 minutes in and we're already next to clean grip. It's pretty insane to even think about. And right here in this room, it's actually one of my biggest stops, and it's this flower skip, which is RNG because the flower spawns in different places depending on the RNG. But the idea is just basically hitting the enemy and hitting yourself, dashing into him, and just to push him upwards and poke up of him. You can actually poke off him like not doing that up slash at all, but it's RNG. It's completely RNG and pretty rare to it. Okay, we already got the clean grip, as you see. We are behind, as I said. But it's still fine, like 1635, it's crazy to think about that. I could even get a 1630 if I did Wormwise properly, that's insane. Like, I've never seen a page like that, not even close. My best was 1632, so this is still pretty damn good. And well, we got an unfortunate hit at the start of the split, so I decided to not go for Healless Widow, since 2 HP is pretty scary, and we need this. Well, we actually don't need this damage tank. This was discovered after I got the 49, but you can actually skip that damage tank, but it's like a 1 frame window, it's pretty hard. So here we have Widow. You're gonna see me going through Widow, which is basically just doing a pogo dash through her. Like, it's not that tight, but it's pretty hard to get the hang of it. And well, this Widow was pretty average, I think. Yeah, it's pretty average overall. We are making good use of the Silkspear because it does 3 times the amount of the nail, so it's pretty useful. It's deadly to the bosses. And there I finished the first phase, I do Spear, Scream Skip. This is pretty much textbook. Thankfully I got it, because that actually saves a ton of time, and it allowed me to get a pretty decent Widow, even with the bad first phase, and even with that, which is a 127, I think? 127 Widow? Yeah, pretty sure. So that's basically the entire first third of the run already. Maybe more, yeah, more than the first third of the run. And if you have reached this point, I would love a sub and also a follow on my Twitch. Please, come on. It's very easy to hit. You take like 2 seconds. So, well, we are back here. After that long cutscene, you might realize it on the timer. And well, we do another quit out here for the same reason as before. On Melvist, it's just faster. Free time save, just take it. No, not much explanation. And well, even with that early game, you might see that I'm only 0.4 behind. Like, this is pretty insane to even think about. I don't know how I did this. Like, I couldn't replicate this in another week probably. But yeah, now it comes the scariest part of Act 1. Like, it's not even close, which are both this split, because it has them probably the most tricky and the second most tricky trick in the run behind Flower Skip, which we commented before, and it's chalamat skip, okay? It's actually a really tricky split because if you miss it, you lose a ton of time, and it's precise, okay? It's not the easiest skip. And also after chalamat comes the main thing of the entire run, which is the mist. I'll be explaining the mist fully in depth because it's a really complex area. Like, if you don't know how it works, you are not gonna understand basically anything. After upgrading the nail, we go to Greymore. Greymore is pretty interesting, like, the movement is... I don't know, the movement is so chill, man. This is a nice break on the run. But it also breaks the pace a bit, because you need to wait a lot after Widow. It's like, after Widow the runs become so long if you pass her. So it's kinda bad. Like, you kill Widow at around 18 minutes, and now we are already on 21:30, like... 30 minutes of basically nothing is crazy, but whatever. It's how it goes. We are already entering Sinner's Road, okay, in a pretty nice split. Like, this split was pretty much textbook also. Like, up until here I don't have any real mistakes whatsoever, only Wormwise basically. So yeah, pretty good. And we are going to chalamat skip already, it's the next one, with which we are gonna reload because the positioning of the enemy. Well, we have a little bit of time bleed there. That's like, yeah, 0.5 or whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I get pretty nervous whenever I get here. So here is chalamat. Textbook, basically. And now I think I don't get this, right? Yeah, I don't. That enemy is on the way, but you can normally pogo those spikes. It's pretty precise, but it saves good time. But the enemy was on the way. You can actually do it, even though the enemy is on the way, but it's pretty risky and you get damaged. So it's not worth it, in my opinion. Okay, so let's pause for a second because the mist is a really complex area that actually needs explanation. The mist has 8 different rooms that can be generated after each transition, and then it also has the hallways. To complete the mist, you have to go through 7 different transitions. The first, second, and fifth rooms of the mist are completely normal rooms. You need to play the needle in and go into the correct transitions as usual. The fourth and seventh room are completely free, since they are just an empty hallway. They also serve a purpose, that is to just tell you that you are doing it correctly. Other thing is that you can just go back to a transition that you already went through and it's completely fine, it counts as the next room. This was patched in later patches. You can see here that after completing this second room, I juggle back and this would be the third room, so I just go in blind to a horizontal transition and I get it right every single time. For the sixth one, which leads to the last hallway, it's a bit more complicated, since you need to go through a specific right transition to clear the mist. If the room has no right transitions, you need to go through an extra room, and if the room has 2 right transitions, you would need to play the needle in again 1 extra time. If you want a more in-depth explanation, check up Oxbox's guide in the description. It's awesome and he helped me a ton with some resources used here. We start by getting M8, first room, which is actually pretty bad because it's a huge room, and then I get to the right. And then something pretty unlucky happened, that is M4, another huge room. So then, naturally, I stuttered a bit because I didn't know what to do, to either continue on M4 or juggle and make M8 my second room again. In the run I chose M4, and I'm gonna explain why I did it. M8 could in theory be better if I got up transition, because then I could juggle quickly to the left and just clear the first half of the mist. But also if I got back again to the bottom right transition, it would be completely awful. M4 has 5 transitions. I came from the one in the left, there is 2 upwards transitions, there is 1 in the bottom, and there is 1 all the way to the right. So, coming from the left, I could either get the top left transition and the bottom transition and it would be completely fine. So I chose to just do that, instead of risking getting a 1 in 3 chance of getting screwed in M8. So that's why I stuttered a bit there, because I don't know what's the right call, it depends on RNG. There you can see the small stutter that I talked about, and I go for these 2 transitions that I was talking about, and well, I get a bit of problems with this grave, but it's fine because I get bottom, luckily. Then I go into M2, there is not much to hear, any horizontal transition is valid, as I said, and we get into the second half. Here, as you can see, I needed to play the needle in, but stop! I got a pretty good room, which is M6, only 2 correct exits, and these are the grave and fly spawn. As you can see, there is something quite a bit off here. We don't have those flies, we don't have them at all. So, the only flies that I could get was 2 of the left ones. That means that I lost a lot of time in an already awful mist. Like, not awful, but not good enough for the 49. So, as you can see, there is only 2 transitions in this room. What did I do? I just guessed that it was top. If I guessed wrong, the run is over. I can't do anything about it. But luckily, as you will see in the run, and as you know, because you are clicking on the video, I thankfully got it right. As you might guess, I've lost this kind of gambler many times. Like, I wouldn't recommend this to basically anyone that isn't strictly aiming for a time that needs this miss time. Here I farm Silk, and this is another mistake of the run. By farming Silk I lost time because I got hit and I lost the steam cycle and I needed to wait on that little right pocket. So yeah, that lost like 3 or 4 seconds, I believe. So yeah, we're already back on basically the exact pace of 49. So yeah, pretty unlucky, but it's completely my fault. I just got nervous whenever I realized that I got the gambler right. Here we are facing Phantom. It's actually not that hard of a fight in the speedrun. It always goes decently well, thankfully. We do the bouncing spears on the wall. We lure Phantom to the left whenever we have a chance to do them, which is a lot of time save. And here I think I kind of mess up. Yeah, I mess up there a lot. But it was still fine, I still got the cycle right. You can hit Phantom here, and the fastest ever kill would be to kill her after this spear, right here, after this hit, like here. So I actually lost only that time from that hit to the spear. So it's not that bad, okay. It wasn't awful to miss all that. So yeah, this is a pretty good Act 1. We even struggled a lot to get the first 26 Act 1, and this is a 26 4x, which was pretty much what I needed for the 49. I think it's exactly a 26 48, I think. So yeah, pretty good. Talking more about Act 2, Act 2 is much faster, okay, it's much shorter, it's like 3 or 4 minutes shorter, but it's also scarier because any mistake can basically kill you. The enemies are so strong, the bosses are so strong, there is High Halls Arena, there is a lot of very hard movement sections, so it's the scariest part of the run, and I've played more Act 2 than anything else. So yeah, I basically just got the 49 all to my Act 2 practice. It was really insane to practice all that, like I've put an insane amount of hours on Act 2. So yeah, enjoy the Act 2, which is much cooler than Act 1 in my opinion. Pretty soon into Act 2 we are gonna see a pretty unlucky thing, that is Steam Room. I can't do the fastest Steam Room cycle just because my PC has slow loads, okay? So I just lose like 1.5 seconds to that, just because my PC is slower. It's not the biggest deal, but it's pretty painful, like 1.5 seconds or maybe even 2 is a lot of time. And I also do a scarier strat, like I need to do a harder strat to not lose even more time. So yeah, it was pretty unlucky, but there is nothing I could do about it as far as I know. So yeah, it's the next room after this, okay, you're gonna see it right here. Instead of not waiting, I just go for this, which is really precise as you might have seen. And it's pretty unlucky because just full sending it with good loads is completely free, but whatever, it's fine. And we're already reaching Cohort dancers. You are seeing that this split is much faster on Key route than on Bell's route, which is the other alternative for later patches. If you wanna do a speedrun, I would recommend doing that patch instead, because this route is really demanding, like it's much harder than any other route. We are starting this fight by scream skipping, okay, which is basically just standing there and losing the HP. We just fight this boss with 3 HP, it's fine, we do this damage cycle and pretty much kill them instantly. And we are focusing the right one for this phase, since, well, it is the one that is closest to you when they do an off-screen attack. It's pretty much the only reason, I think. So yeah, we just focus this one, we don't heal as you see, we are just sending it with 3 HP, and it's dead. And now why are we focusing the left one now? Because it stands still for more time, so we just DPS him a lot, as you are gonna see here. We can do a lot of damage, and I get pretty unlucky RNG, because right here I was gonna do an attack on the upper dancer, but he just refused to do the dash. It's pretty unlucky, but what can you do about it? It's not a big deal, good fight. Pretty good, like, I can't complain, it's fine, really. Now reaching last phase, you never die with 1 HP, like, come on, this isn't even scary, don't even look at it like, I'm fine, don't worry. It was pretty much perfect. So yeah, after they die, we just do a fast quit out again for the same reason as the other quit outs, is just fast. And the timing to do it is actually when life splits. So yeah, it's pretty easy to time if you have a life split. I would recommend getting it and getting the splits from HK Split Maker. You can search it and you will get them. It's pretty easy to set up. So yeah, that's another thing for people that wanna learn. We are going into a pretty interesting named split. Like the names are just named by viewers. Don't even worry, man. Don't blame me. And this split was actually another one of the main time losses. It was my fault, but it's also really annoying. Yeah, we're getting this fast cycle too, which became pretty much the standard for the grind. It's very scary to miss. Like if you miss it, you lose the run basically. But yeah, there is that. This room is pretty good RNG on the shield guy, and we are reaching the arena on good time. So yeah, as you might guess, we are losing time to the arena, pretty much on the second to last wave. So pretty unlucky. This arena at this point was basically perfectly optimized. There is a few strats that I opted not to do because they are inconsistent and they are not that big of a time save. Just, for example, hitting both enemies here and saving a slash, or hitting the right here and not needing to go all the way to the right again to hit the enemy, but yeah. And here is the main time loss of this split, which is basically doing that side slash, which didn't let me have Silk, and I missed that spear, and the enemy just went flying because he's up. It's fine, really. It lost like 4 seconds, so yeah, this is another time loss. I was already behind of my comparison again, so yeah, now we needed a good Trovio if I wanted the 49, which is pretty rare on me because Trovio is RNG and he was being mean lately. Like, he was losing me all my paces to 49, like, it was always bad, but thankfully I got a good Trovio. Even though I missed that movement, I got a good Trovio, so I could keep going with the pace, thankfully. Again, if I got one extra floor in Trovio, no 49. It's just that brutal. For this fight, it was actually a pretty good time, but I'm just gonna point out the real mistakes that I made, so you can see that even though the fight was good, it has mistakes. So yeah, pretty standard opener, I just smacked him, I missed an L there, pretty obvious. That's pretty unlucky. I think that spear was good, but he just went into the floor. But yeah, that's time loss, unfortunately. And we do the stagger combo, we just spear him in the wall. Pretty standard for now. Yeah, we missed a lot of nails there, we could only do one pogo. Like, it was pretty unlucky, but we still got this, which was huge. So we could DPS Trovio a lot. We only do one pogo there, which is pretty bad. I could have saved another nail. And we thankfully got the 2 pogos there, which was basically the thing that allowed me to finish him here and just get a decent fight. Maybe I could do it better, like, this fight wasn't amazing. If I got more nails I would have killed him faster. I could have also used the Silkspear before, but pretty good fight, like, I'm pretty happy with this Trovio. It probably could have been a sub 150 with good movement and good execution, but yeah, it was pretty good. We forget the down dash there. Well, it's not really forgetting, it's just that the down dash is just awful sometimes. You need to release the dash to input another down dash. Here you are gonna see now the Underworks wall jump, which was the entire reason that this is only possible on release patch. This wall jump is only possible on release patch, okay? In any other patch you can't do that wall jump right there, that wall jump that I just did. So yeah, I'm pretty unlucky that they fixed that. It's whatever. I also got it first try, which is really good, because it's a tricky wall jump, okay? It's it's so fucking awkward, like, I hate it. I hate it a lot. But yeah, textbook lava room, basically. Safe strats, kinda, but it's fine. I'm not gonna do risky strats on this pace, and I'm 1.7 ahead, so this was looking pretty good. I made my late game splits bad on purpose, so I could save a bit of time in every split. But you're gonna see that it's not that easy. You're gonna see that I got some pretty unlucky stuff. You will get there, okay? But yeah, here we have the claw line, which is a pretty cool movement tech. and we're basically only using it for movement in a few sections, like it's not used much, it's mainly used on combat, in Lace 2, okay, and in GMS also. Also a bit on HHA, but not much. It's a pretty cool tech, man. I love it. I love Clawline. Here we have the arena. I think it went pretty much perfectly, I think. Or did I get hit here? Yeah, no, this is pretty much perfect, okay. We get the hit here, so we can spear to nail some spear. We have barely enough silk. Perfect. This is a 200.1 Clawline. I remember this. I was pretty proud of this split time. This is actually a pretty much flawless split. It was pretty clean. The best ever Clawline is at 158.9, so yeah. And now we are going to take the first melody of the run, which is Ballkeeper's Melody. And this split is really chill, surprisingly. Like, it's a pretty chill split. There is not much going on. It's just some movement that gets really consistent overall. We have this steam room that we don't have steam because we went through the mist. That's the reason that in Bells we get steam here. Okay, if you guys didn't know. And yeah, pretty standard. We get the cylinder here to get the melody. I do a pretty small time loss there, but it's fine. And we do this skip here, which was actually thankfully good, because sometimes that enemy is too high up and you can't pogo him. You need to clawline 2 times and then clawline away, which is a small time loss, but it's pretty noticeable on this level of optimization. So yeah, we already reached the first melody, and 2 more to go. The 2 more that we are missing are slightly harder, but surely it will be fine. So now we are going into Architect's Melody. This melody is probably the hardest movement split in the run, and it's not even close. There is some pretty tight cycles, there is a lot of annoying stuff that can go terribly wrong, like everything can go wrong on this split and you can spiral down pretty quickly and lose a lot of seconds and even die. Like, it's pretty it's pretty brutal. Also, cogs do 2 damage on release patch. You might remember that if you played on release patch when the game released. But yeah, here is the first thing, which is that pogo on the right saw, which is it's precise, but it gets pretty much consistent. There I did a small screw up, but I backed it up fine. And we are reaching this room, which is the hardest room. I'll just leave it for you to see. So yeah, after that cohort core, I'm already like with the nerves through the roofs. Like, it makes me so nervous, man. But I miss that. I just clawline into that wall, so that loses time, and I'm losing time to this split because of that. So yeah, even though I did everything perfectly, just one clawline made me lose time, and now it's pretty tight. So now we've already entered the late game, and we are gonna have a pretty scary movement split, which is just scary because you already have all the pressure of beating the hardest movement section and getting the hardest combat section right after. So yeah, this split has killed a few of my runs, okay? There is some rooms that are just scary with nerves, but it turned out pretty well if I remember correctly. Well, I messed it up a bit there, but I had 3 seconds of like caution to fuck up a bit in HHA and Lace 2 and GMS. But you're gonna see where I lose that time because, well, you know that it was a 49.58, so I need to lose time still. So yeah, this room is pretty scary, but it went pretty well. I lost just a bit of time, I reached the platform late, but it was fine. Just not fucking up is huge on this page. I'm also gonna start explaining HHA, okay, High Halls Arena. which is the hardest arena of the run and the hardest combat section. Like, it's not even close, and I've put many hours into it. And basically every wave is completely scripted at this point. And except a small number of enemies that actually are RNG, obviously, but what can we do about it? But yeah, it's a pretty hard room which I've put many hours into. We are also getting here the the coolest room of the run. So we get here God Pixel in one pogo, which is actually not that hard, but it looks insanely cool. And yeah, we are going into HHA, pretty much flawless split, like just some tiny mistakes, but the split was good. 4 seconds ahead, nothing can go wrong really, right? Starting in the first wave, this was textbook. Okay, I got good RNG, which is a pretty hard thing on this wave sometimes. It can go terribly wrong. This wave was also fine. Also now I do these 3 slashes, spear, pretty much everything is fine up until here. Okay, the pressure is already getting on, for real. Like, this is pretty scary. Whatever, we kill these guys. We those tiny mess up there. It's just the nerves, really. We do this cool damage rotation on the maestros. We just destroy them pretty quickly. I get damage there, which you're gonna see that it spirals down, okay? But here we have the first clapper, okay, which is pretty easy, but it can go wrong. Yeah, it can go wrong sometimes. I was one hit away, I came pretty close to dying there, but it's fine, it's fine. One hit away, boom, die. And first good half, like, it's not bad, and being 2 HP isn't all that bad, because I always get a heal before the last wave. I have made a strategy for this arena that allows for that, thankfully. I didn't get the spear on this guy, pretty unlucky if you ask me, but it's fine. So yeah, that lost some time. I do this jump to line these enemies better, both spears, pretty good. I kill them, and I have 4 silk, which is enough for the heal, and 1 spear to both enemies. You're gonna see, it's calculated. I just try to do it as safe as I can so I don't lose HP, I get the heal, and I do this taunt to save 1 hit on the right clapper, and well, I'm just gonna leave the fight for you to see. It's intense. So yeah, barely clutching out the fight, barely having Silk for the heal, and we are going into Lace 2 with 4 HP, which is scary because she can kill you in just 2 hits. But I couldn't afford the time loss of save and quitting because I can't afford those 3 seconds of save and quitting in 2 architects. So yeah, I needed to go with 4 HP. For the ending, I'm not gonna talk much, I'm just gonna leave you with the run basically, and you're gonna see that here the movement was kinda messy, like I was so nervous, man, after those clappers. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you with all of late game without talking much. So yeah, there is a lot of things to talk about on this fight, and the main one is this. That's a 3-second time loss right after the fight. Completely RNG. She can fall out or not. Like, it's completely RNG, and I thought I lost the 49 to this. If you see the actual world record video, you are gonna see my reaction. And I was pretty much thinking about not getting the 49 this round. Like, I was convinced I was not getting it because the fight was slow. Like, it wasn't fast at all. You saw that I got from 1 hit from dying throughout the whole fight, and it was just messy overall. So yeah, I needed a 230 GMS to clutch this out, and the best GMS ever is at 227, and the best I got in a run was at 230. So yeah, I needed basically to match my best GMS in a run with the pressure of needing it for the 49. So now you realize how insane it actually was, and kind of get why my reaction was like that. And that's basically how I got the 49. The EMS fight was awesome, it was a really good fight, and that allowed me to sneak by the 49 by less than 2 seconds, man. It was a completely insane last fight. I didn't expect myself to be able to pull that off when it mattered the most, but I did it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will try to make more videos like this in the future, so stay tuned for that.